Hi, welcome to the Underground channel. It's been a while since I've done any reports on the prison Walmart FEMA camps that was going up under the Obama administration and then the Democratic administration. And I haven't been on for a while because Trump was able to stop it for his 4 years. And that's one of the reasons why the Democrats needed to steal the election. One reason is because they need to have China in their pocket, and things are going to get much worse now. As I predicted before, when the FEMA Walmart prison camps, or whatever you want to call them, and showed videos of them being built when the Democrats had the administration, a lot of people laughed at me, and a lot of people said that's not true until I started putting up the videos of prison FEMA Walmart camps, and even the video of where a state senator was investigating why these camps are being built out of the Walmarts, and why is Walmart's closing those stores and building only super centers now. Well, it's all about control over you. That's why the Democrats need this so much, and why they stole the election away. See, the Democrats are not just Democrats. They are China, North Korea, Iran, Iraq, and North Korea. And you seen when they was there as taking over, when they had the administration, that you seen how the world was changing and how wars and rumors of wars have started. And you've watched it with your very eyes on the news. And there's a lot of people that believes the media for some reason. I don't know why. They all are like reprobates, or their minds are already made up and they have no control over their minds because there's a higher superpower. You got the Antichrist is about to show up on world stage because peace is just started to leaving. We are beginning tribulation now. The Bible predicted it. So even though the Democrats and China and all those countries have become one, they're trying to move for one world order and make the United States a cashless society by implanting the 6G RIFD chip into your hand. Walmart has already started putting in the machines. And as I see them, I've decided now that the Democrats are back in there again. I'm going to start doing these videos again and showing you these Walmarts as I come across them. In other parts of the country, people were sending me these videos of their Walmarts being turned into prison camps. And when they came down on me and started deleting my videos to keep you from seeing them, I'm going to have other people uploading them as fast as we can. So send your videos to me and I'll start posting them again. The last time they came down on me pretty hard, the Democrats and those people in the black coats and stuff, so I hightailed out of there, especially when I started putting evidence of what 5G is, what it really was, and how it was experimented back in 1980s, and how they can use it by amping them up to 600 to 800 megahertz of power. And some of you have been around these towers and you see birds laying all over. Like when they just put a tower up where I was living, I showed you all the dead birds in my yard after they turned it on. And when I was homeless, I was living behind a Walmart with a bunch of other families. When the Obamacare Act came in, all the companies and major people said, we can outsmart Obama. So they cut your hours, you lost jobs, and I'm living out there. Well, that wasn't the only reason why I got homeless, is because my warehouse got broken into, and that put me down. And then I had a stroke like a few days after that. Not a stroke, my first heart attack. I've had 2 strokes after that. And that was all over because of what the Democrats did with this Obamacare Act that was supposed to help people, but people were smart to this, and they cut your hours so they don't have to pay your insurance, and the insurance rates went sky high if you tried to get private insurance. And if you're old enough, you know this mess. But anyways, this is my prediction for the next 4 years. Within the next year, they're going to start building again and turning a lot more Walmarts into prison FEMA camps. Now, as I showed you before, they have been putting detainees in these Walmarts in various cities, bigger cities. Now, where do you want to be when the Democrats have control over the military and order the military to lock down these big cities, the perimeters? Where are you going to go? If you don't take the mark chip, the computer chip that they put inside your hand so they can track you, they can also tell you the temperature of your body, and they always, if they need to find somebody, it goes onto the Master Beast computer, and then cameras, anywhere your camera face is picked up, they got you. So how you gonna live under this kind of rule? And you can't buy, sell, or trade. If you own anything, the government will seize it if you don't take the mark. That's within, I say within the next 2 years. Definitely within the next 4 years of this administration until Trump gets it back in 2024. But as hard as it was when they first started coming against Trump, when he won the presidency, you've seen all the fake news, you've seen all the lies about President Trump, and they just blasted him all the time in the media. Not because they're not for our president, they're not for you. All they're there for is to control your minds, make you believe what they said on the news was true, and I'd say 99.9% was all lies, as it was proven through the Trump administration. But we have to live with what we got. Even though our votes didn't count, and they was able to manipulate it and everything. Look at this. If you looked at the map, Trump had almost 75% of the country, and there was only 2 blues in counties, not states. And then all of a sudden, it started going in Biden's favor. Do you really think this guy is genius to do this and steal it? A lot of you are saying Biden stole this, Biden stole that. He's not that smart. I mean, you've seen him on TV. He hid in his basement the whole time mostly. And his rallies were so small that there's no way he was smart enough to pull this off. It's the people of power, these countries, that are cahoots with the Democrats. And so what happens is China, North Korea, and Iraq, Iran, and I don't think Russia's in on it. They could be, but I haven't seen anything that suggests that Russia had anything to do with it. But I do know that there's a civil war going on right now in China because they're trying to implement the mark, and they're using the 5G, and they're trying to do it now instead of waiting till the 6G is up. Google, Bill Gates, All the rich companies in the United States and all over the world are paying hundreds of multi-million dollars to the 6G corporation because they want to be the first on there, and it's all about taking control. So a lot of people on the internet is predicting that the 5G will end up being the RIFD chip implantation, but it's not. It's the 6G, and you heard it first on the underground. So anyways, to make it short, there's no need to have riots. Don't go and do that. That's what they want you to do. More riots or civil war or whatever, if you do that and you participate in that, not only are you going to get caught and put in jail, and the only way you're going to get out is if you take the mark and pledge your allegiance to the new world order that is coming. That's what this is all about. And Trump was the only one stopping that from happening. But now that they stole the election, he can't stop it. There's nothing he can do without the power of the people. But if you've seen the map of how the election go, and if you followed it, how does Trump get over 70% of the country and still lose? Come on, that's no brainer. Biden didn't have hardly nothing. He just had counties, a county here and a county there, and then you've seen everybody going against Trump and they projecting blue, 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 and they didn't have the wave or nothing. Military ballots has still not been counted, and 99% of the military ballots are for President Trump. The military don't want the Democrats in there because they don't want to go to war and they don't want to die and not be able to support their families. But that's going to happen now. Just like it was when they were starting wars all over the world in the Democrats party that had the administration. So now, instead of bringing our troops home, they're going to start sending them back out. They're going to start putting their noses in other countries' businesses like Iran, Iraq, China, and North Korea. So now that the Democrats has won, or I wouldn't say won, stole the election, war is coming. They need the war to obtain the power. And without the power, they have nothing. So that's the number one thing is why the Democrats fought so hard and manipulated this election. We know it. The people know it. And we know if you got over 70% of the whole country, you're president. And Ohio is always the deciding factor of the state of Ohio, of the I can't say it right, I had a stroke. You know what I'm trying to say. And Ohio went for Trump. So that should tell you something right there. And 70% of the country was for Trump. And even if you was to weigh it at the odds of the country, the states for Biden and the states for Trump, Trump was at 70% the whole time. And how does 30% come out on top and win? Just by a county over here, one county over there. Come on. And everybody knows Pennsylvania and those places are corrupted and has manipulated votes many, many times. It's in everybody knows that history. And they did it again. So why all of a sudden would they stop just for this election after they've done it for every other election? But anyways, 70% for Trump, 30% for Biden, but Biden wins. Come on, people, wake up. We all know what happened. We're not stupid. Only the reprobates, people whose mind has been changed by the media and these high corporations that are in charge of mind manipulation through the media, fake news, and stuff like that. So, and according to the Bible, that's predicted. Many will become of reprobate minds. That means no matter what, they're owned by the negative side, evil side, because the Bible says it's going to happen. That's what just happened. A prophecy just came true, and we can't do nothing about it right now. But you know what? The Bible says in the end, we win. So we will win in the end. The Democrats can't win. You can't change God's mind. God already predicted, or didn't predict it, put it in the prophecies. Read Daniel, Revelations, and that's how it's turning out. And if you do read Revelations, you'll see that all these prophecies from May 15th, I think it was, 1948, that all these prophecies started fulfilling then. And we also know that the generation that brought Israel into a nation in one day, as the Bible predicted, and it did happen, read your history, that generation will not pass until all the other predictions in the Bible, or prophecies, I should say, I correct myself, I'm sorry, prophecies that were written thousands of years ago, we're living them. We're watching them unfold. And you just watched what one of the prophecies be fulfilled. It's the end times. And this is where governments are fighting for the power to take over the people. And then, now that we're in that prophecy, the next prophecy is that we're going to be in wars and rumors of wars unlike you've never seen. Everything that's happened when the Democrats had it the last time, Trump was only able to stop it because, he was chosen by God. The Bible says, at the last trump, then the trumpets in heaven shall sound. Now, how did the Bible even know Trump was going to be a president 2,000, 3,000 years ago? So that's another prophecy that's come. And now it's time for the prophecy, behold, sudden destruction comes. So the Democrats have to put us in war for them to make money, for the powerful and the rich to make money and get control of the world. It's all about world domination. One world government is what they're pushing for. And the Democrats has their foot in the door, and it's going to happen. They're going to start trying to make us go to a cashless society. And a lot of people are going to believe that this is the way to go. This is the reprobate minds that the Bible talks about. And if you don't believe me, just watch what happens for the next 4 years if you're not prepared. The Bible says, for those who belong to God, who loves God, to prepare yourselves. Now is the time to prepare yourself. Now's the time to give it all up and prepare for what is coming. So you're going to need, like, my way of helping people is I go around building tiny houses for people. And I also do car work and paint. So I'll kind of show you around my shop. I don't really have a turnaround on here, I don't think. I don't see a turnaround, so I'll have to turn my camera around physically. So as you can see, I'm restoring a 71 Mustang, and I don't have the motorcycle parts I just painted, but here's a hot rod that I you might like. I can't undo the whole thing. I got stuff on top. But this is the hot rod. This one's the finished product. And I'm waiting on a paint booth, a professional blow-up paint booth to come back. If you've seen my videos, you've seen my last one. I could drive a school bus into that one. But don't go out causing trouble. Don't go out, thinking that it's going to matter. Don't go and hurt people, because this time is prophesied in the Bible. It's time to regroup and prepare to avoid the mark. When the government is now in the Democratic hold, they will force the government to come against you if you don't take the mark. So that's what this is all about. And let me know your opinion. You can drop it down there. And everybody on this channel is allowed to voice their opinion, freedom of speech. And those of you who are Christians, you already know what it says for us to do next in the prophecies. So I'm starting now. I will come to you and build your tiny houses and your underground shelters and things like that, if that's what you want. And I'm getting ready where I can put everything on a trailer, and I can come and camp out at your site where you want it built, and build it custom to your liking. A lot of people are selling their houses, not as much as they're going to now. Now the Democrats are back in there. But you're going to see a boom in tiny houses. You're going to see a big boom in underground shelters. And it's going to be like lightning. And here's the trick. Try to find a secluded place. And don't, like some of these dummies that's been doing it, they want to advertise it and put it on YouTube and show everything they got, and that they got underground bunkers and stuff. But I'm telling you, any bunker can be broken into. Here's one example. In an underground bunker, you got to have an air vent, and to get air in there, right? Whether you got HEPA filters and stuff, and you got that kind of money to build it so that nuclear fallout will be filtered out and you can get clean air. But if somebody wants what you got and they know where you're at, all they have to do is mess with your air vent, and you're going to come out of there, if you like it or not, or die. And everything that you have in there stored for yourself or your family is gone. And maybe worse. These times, I think, is going to be here within the next 6 months. Things are going to change rapidly now. Things are going to get worse. As bad as it was when the Democrats had it there, nobody could get good jobs, couldn't get good pay wages, couldn't get the hours. I mean, just the 2 Walmart FEMA camps that I was at during the Obama administration, there was probably, in the camp that I was in when I got homeless, was probably about 300 people in the woods behind this Walmart. But when they started putting up the 5Gs antennas and turning the Walmart where I was at into a prison FEMA camp, and I get a job and I go to my orientation. When I came back, everything was gone. All the trees were flat. Fence was going all around the Walmart with the aspartame barbed wire and cameras and everything. It was a prison. They turned it into a literal prison. And this has been happening all over the country. Now, during the Trump administration, that came on a halt. It stopped. Now start watching the Underground channel again, and you're going to start seeing these prison camps be popped up everywhere, especially in the large cities. Because when this time comes, if you don't take the mark or can show that you took the mark, you can't buy, sell, trade, or go anywhere and get anything. And even if your family your most best loved ones take the mark, their mindset will change and they will become reprobates too. Read Revelation, what it says about reprobate minds. And be careful, Don't let your left hand knoweth what your right hand doeth. And if you go on to, I think the tiny house movement is going to be the largest big boom business in the United States. So if you're wanting one built, leave a remark down below, and maybe we'll come out and build yours. You can send me your floor plans, so we'll go from there. But just don't go out hurting people just because the Democrats was able to steal the election. Just let it go and start preparing for what's next in the prophecies. If you stick to the prophecies, stick with God, and you'll be okay. Why do you think they're trying to tear down all the history of the United States, trying to destroy and stop the Bible from being printed? Why do you think these churches are being burnt? When the Democrats was in office, why was all those churches being burnt? These times must come to pass so that the other prophecies can be fulfilled. And give your heart and mind and love, and get on your hands and knees and pray that you can be one of the tribulation saints, overcomers at the end. That's the deal. Those who do not submit to the New World Order and the mark and pledge your allegiance to the New World Order, those are the ones that get to live eternity in heaven until heaven's come back down to the earth where God intends it to be, and the world is changed, and then the Lord comes back and he rules for 1,000 years before we have to be ready for when Satan is unchained and allowed to come out of hell and tempt man one more time. And then after that, it's forever. The earth will be changed and made new again. So God bless in each and every one of you, and have a good day. Try to have some peace, and just watch around you how the people are going to change. Their minds are going to become more angry now that the Democrats are in there. Most of the Democrats that voted for the Democrats or for Biden, whatever, they are going to be the first ones to take the mark. They will take the mark. So if you voted for Biden, it's a 95% chance you're not going to be strong enough and you are going to take the mark. Have a nice day.